The first step in troubleshooting is, of course, to be proactive and not have to troubleshoot because you've backed up your data. Windows has taken two previous ideas that they had going at the same time and put them together into one. Previously, in Windows 7, there was a backup and restore, and you can see that right here. In fact, this is on my Windows 10 machine, and this is still here in the control panel. It says backup and restore Windows 7. They have retained this for people who want that backwards compatibility. And then they had something called file history or previous versions. Now what I've done here is just right-clicked on a Word document, gone to Properties. So here's quotes.docx Properties, and then to the previous versions. Now I did not have this turned on, but had I turned it on, Microsoft would have kept track of each time I change, I resave this file so that I would have a list of previous versions of it. That way, if something became corrupted, I could go back and get it. Or if, say, I had deleted some data and now I wished I hadn't, I could go back, say, to the December 20th version of it and get that earlier version of the document. Unfortunately, you had to turn this on separately, and many people, including myself, often did not do that. But now we've combined these two into one thing. After all, it was a duplication of effort. Why have, for example, a backup here and then another backup going on here when we could do them all in one fell swoop? So that's what we've done now. If I go down to the Start menu and up to Settings, and then over to Update and Security, you'll see I have something called Backup. And when I click Backup, I have turned file history on, and by the way, it is not on by default. It is off by default. So you'll need to turn it on if you want to keep backups of stuff, and then I'll go to More Options. And now you can see, as a matter of fact, it looks like I have a backup going on right now. At least, yeah, it looks like I have a backup going on now, but I could relaunch it. This is kind of unusual. Normally it would say stop backing up or something of that nature. And then I can choose how often I want to back up. Every 10 minutes all the way up to daily. And then I can, how long do I want to keep my backups? I can go any one of these increments here from 1 month to 2 years, or just keep it forever, which of course eventually was going to fill up my drive, my backup drive, or until space is needed. So it'll just keep it as long as there's space, and then when it needs to back up new stuff, it'll delete the oldest stuff. That's kind of a set it and forget it option there. One thing I should mention here is that if you have a laptop and you don't have a second drive in that laptop, you're going to have to either plug into an external drive or have, say, a network drive that you can back up to. You cannot back up to the same drive that you're backing up from. Next, you can choose what you're going to back up. Now, I have everything. Now, I don't know why I have a separate one here. Let's get rid of that. I have all of my data on a D drive called Data, and then I also want to keep the app data folder on my C drive. Now what this means is a little bit beyond the scope of this discussion, but this is where a lot of applications store their own settings and data, so I also keep that one backed up from my C drive. And then I can exclude folders within those. So for example, in the app data folder, let's go add a folder, and I will choose C users. Let's make sure I'm in the right place. C users, Roger Z, and then app data. By the way, notice this is a hidden folder, and I have shown my hidden folders. So let's say that I did not need my local low, or well, roaming. Let's say I did not need my roaming folder in that one. Again, what these mean is beyond the scope of this course, but if you're interested, let me know. And then I can choose that, and so now I'm going to back up everything within app data here, with the exception of the roaming subfolder. So that's certainly a possibility. I'm going to remove that now, and so that's pretty much most of the settings here. Once you set it, you can just forget it. In fact, I think I will change this to until space is needed, and that way it won't overfill my drive. Nothing is going to be compressed or compacted in any way. It's also, this is an important point for security, it is also not encrypted in any way. So if somebody gets access to your backup drive, they would have full capability of reading that drive. It's just in the same format that it is on the on your machine. And by the way, let's go ahead and open up that drive, and you'll see a folder here called File History, and that file history is the folder where all this is being backed up to right now. Well, that's it for this one, and thank you for listening.